Honestly, for the most part, the generator and the snowblower are one of the easier ones to start. Same with this machine right here. As you can see, it's missing its front tires. Hopefully I'm going to pick them up shortly, but let's see if it's going to start. This one here always starts. As long as this choke is pulled in the cold weather, like before we get like freezing rain or anything, it will always start. It does not like the choke does not like coming out when it's freezing cold out. But overall, this machine always starts. These are really the easy ones. Everything else will be the harder machines. Except for maybe the Allis-Chalmers. It's back and forth some days. Some days it's hard, some days it's easy. That machine there with the trailer, it's going to be a bugger, I know that. The absolute hardest one will be, though, let me get over to it, probably these two right here. The snowblower and this tractor. This is the one that will be started without oil. I gotta fix it still, and we'll go from there. If it will even crank. I have not tried it since the video that was made of it, and that video will be coming out in the next couple weeks. So, and yes, this machine was actually driven to where it's sitting. So this is going to be a bit of a sneak peek in this video of what I've been doing to this machine. This here ran a few weeks back, but again, it's not very fun to start. And the four-wheeler, it will be the next one to start. Let's actually run in there right now. 1 minute. This one actually should be one of the more easier ones to start. It likes the warm weather. It does not like the cold. So let's try it. And we'll show you what the four-wheeler is actually sitting at for mileage. Find the button here. I'll show everything. There we go. So yeah, the four-wheeler, like I said in the last video when I was doing of the Chargers, it's on a battery tender all the time. The battery, it's okay, but the Polarises always have a draw on them, so it stays on a battery tender. Let's shut her back off, and the battery tender is already back on charge. And this is the one I'm using on it, the little wall wart Genius, Nyko Genius. It just gets hung up there. Okay, I'm back. I had to take a bit of a break and go get the tires for the other tractor, but let's start off right where we left off with the next cold start. This is the former work tractor. So you can see the trailer is connected to it. When I had blowouts last week, I had to unfortunately use this machine here, and this does not like to run correctly. It has quite a few issues, but let's see if it's going to crank up. Yes, it runs good, but if it sits too long, it will occasionally foul out the combustion chamber with oil, and sometimes it'll foul out the combustion chamber with gasoline. So it does have issues. That's mainly the reason why this engine's coming out here, and another engine will be going in place. So this machine is getting put back together eventually. I'm also looking at a deal on a few other tractors for fix or part out, as long as I can get them at a good price. Let's fire it up once more, and we'll shut the gas back off, and we'll see what happens. What's happening is the fuel that's left over in the line is contaminating everything, and like I said, this machine says it's too long. Something I'd like to mention, the alarm and the front light bar have both been disconnected on here. One or the other was putting a big strain on the battery, so they have both since been disconnected. I'm leaning towards the alarm, actually the alarm and the light bar both. If this machine sat for too long, the battery would go dead. But the battery, as you can heard, is healthy still after the parasitic draw gets taken off, and let it charge up for a bit. And believe me, I'm happy I'm not keeping it. That seat sucks. Okay, next on the list, the rat rod. This machine, I'm hopefully going to get rid of it soon. I've had a few offers on this particular machine, but just nothing concrete. It's got a brand new carburetor. Slowly put up the hood. Don't want to hit the hood on these bricks here. Don't want to scratch it up too much. Let me find the fuel shut off. I do shut the fuel off. Like I said, since it's a brand new carburetor, I don't want to contaminate, or I don't want to have old gas sitting in the carburetor. But this should start. It's going to be a bit of a cranker. These next bunch will be crankers. So all my machines except for one have batteries in them. I don't pull batteries even in the wintertime. I've never really done it. I've never gotten into that habit of doing that. I've never really had any issues with them freezing up. I do charge them throughout the winter anyways, and I leave them. I will restart this one once more and let the carburetor run right out of gas, but for the sake of the video, we'll continue. We're going to skip past the golf cart. We'll do it last in this row of machines, and then we're going to get into the hard ones. I will not be including the Onan generator in this video. It's too hard to get to, and it's simply not worth it to try and start. This is my Allis-Chalmers. It's only showing 3.1 hours, but it's got a lot more on that. A lot more than that. It's a 10-year-old machine, so I just put the hour meter in myself just so I know how many hours I put on it. And something to note, this one's always hard to start. In the cold, it does not like cold weather, but it usually will crank up and go eventually. If the battery holds out. A little bit too quick. It's got kind of foul fuel in it. runs pretty good. Definitely one of the best buys I have done in a very long time. I may have smoked out my neighbor's chickens, but not a big deal. And no, I'm not in Mexico. My neighbors just have chickens. Now the golf cart. Let's pull the key out, and we're going to see what happens with this thing. It should start. This one actually will start in neutral. I'll just turn off the lights. Okay, we're in neutral. Oh yeah, that was actually easier than I thought it was going to be. It won't necessarily idle, but... And it's not smoking today. That's a good thing. It usually smokes. I recently put some fresh premium in this. That's probably why it's not smoking. If anyone wants to buy this machine, it is for sale. But this machine and the rat rod are both for sale. There won't be an ownership for this one, just a bill of sale, but it's a golf cart, you don't need an ownership. Let's see if it'll move. Runs pretty good. The choke is stuck on at the moment, but I'll take that off in a second, see if it will idle. So set the brake for now. So I go to reverse, and I go slightly up out of reverse. Okay, it chokes off. Let's see if it's going to run. Yep. Tailpipe is right there, still no smoke. And we'll shut her back off. Key off, set the park brake. It's definitely not the prettiest to look at, but it definitely runs pretty good. Taillights work, dump box works, and the front LED works. These lights are just for show. It's an ugly duckling, but it's definitely runs better and drives better than it looks. Okay, last, but not almost last. This will be second last. This is the MTD tractor. There are videos coming out on this machine very soon. Hopefully you can hear me over the wind. We're going to see if this will start. This will be a cheater start. I will be using carb spray. I will be using a jumper pack. Obviously, there's no real electrical system on this machine. There's no oil in it. I'll show that. So if it does start, it's only be ran for a few seconds. As you see, no oil. The drain plug does need to be repaired on this machine. I did drive it to this location, like mentioned previously in the video. So this machine actually does run and drive, but it's just for parts. I'm going to save the engine for the work tractor, some of the clutches and the levers in here for possibly for my golf cart project, unless I can find a centrifugal clutch that will work for my golf cart project. And the tires are so-so on this machine. Really, the rest of it will most likely go for scrap. Unfortunately, the rear end is also bad. It clicks in high range, so somebody drove in high range and broke a gear in it. The deck is also garbage. So really the only good thing on this is this 16 or 18 horsepower opposed twin. So yeah, so I'm going to get the jumper pack, we'll put power to it, we're going to see if it will fire up. There might be a little bit of gas in that bowl. We'll see if it fires, and if not, we'll be using cheater spray. Okay, we're hooked up, and this kind of proves that this has not been ran in a while. There's water in that cap. Let's just see if we're going to get anything out of this. Okay, starter held up. That's a good sign. That starter was completely seized. Nope, it is a 16 horse. It says it right there. Sorry about that. I'm actually going to leave that as part of the video. Let's figure out what I'm doing here. find my brain. Let's forget if the choke works. Like I said, it's been a while. Choke is ignition. Don't need to worry about that. Throttle up. I want to see if I do have a choke cable connected or not. There it is right there. Choke is on, I do believe. Let's just give it a crank and see what happens. Okay, teeter spray time. Okay, this is going to be kind of fun doing this with only two hands. So if it starts, I may have to put the phone down just to keep it running. Like I said, no oil, so I can't let it run long. Hopefully it's not a fail. Give it a good dose. It fired. Most likely because that choke won't stay on. Yeah, choke is stuck. Give a real good dose. We'll give one more. And this is what I'm using. Better than ether, and it comes and cleans the carburetor as I go. Give it a good dose. It just got no oil in it. There you go. That's good enough. That's all I really want to run it without any oil. Hopefully I caught that little splash out of the carburetor on video. Would have been definitely cool if it backfired and it caught fire right there. But I'm happy the starter has held up. The starter actually sounds pretty good. The engine, considering it has no oil in it, actually sounds pretty good as well. So, unhook the jumper pack, and we're going to do the snowblower. Gotta get set up for that. I will be using electric start, of course. Let's see if it even has any gas. It does. As you can see, this thing has always been a bear to start in the cold, but we'll give it a try and see what happens. This will be the last item. These two are definitely the harder items to try and start. A little bit more information on this tractor. It was a complete machine, just been sitting for a period of time. They grabbed it with a front end of a hook and kind of destroyed it, unfortunately. But it was actually a fairly nice, clean machine. But they had to clean up this property. And the two John Deeres all came together. I was going to scrap this machine the way it sits, but I figured give the engine a bit of a chance to try and run. Good thing I did, but when they grabbed it and set it down, they kind of broke the drain plug on this side of the engine. Luckily it does have the one on the other side, so that needs to be repaired, or I need a completely new sump. So it's not really worth a sump. So my idea is I'm going to epoxy it and seal it up, and then cut the top of the drain plug off, flush with the block, so no one ever tries to take it back out, and it will have the drain plug on the other side of the engine. And this has not been sat open. It has had that bucket on it. It does have the air filter and cover as well, so that's why it's not seized up. The engine was never seized. It was the starter that was seized, and luckily I was able to unseize the starter very easily, and that's why I decided to put some time into this. I have zero money into this machine. When I sold everything else, I actually made a profit of about $100 on everything, so it's pure profit whatever I get for this machine back out of everything else from this complete deal. So back on to the snowblower. Gotta get an extension cord, and we're going to try it out. Okay, fuel's on. Give it a couple pumps. Bring up the throttle. Choke is on. See what happens. When this machine was in service, it always needed cheater spray, but I don't really want to use it on it now. It could definitely use its China carburetor replaced. I know BAH 53 did one and machine recently. The machine actually looked like it had a brand new carburetor on it, but it was most likely one of these China ones from Amazon. That's what this machine has. Those carburetors only last for so long, unfortunately. Keep on priming her and try it once more. It did start up last time without having to be sprayed, so we'll try it. Definitely a cranker. Oh, maybe it went on choke now. I heard a second click there. It went. Probably all we're going to get out of it. Try it once more and see if we can get it to stay running for a second, or a little bit longer than a second. Sorry about that. I ran out of memory just as the darn thing started. As you saw, I got a little bit of it in there, but let's try it once more, and we'll conclude this video in the tent shed. Come on. So there we go. It does run. It definitely needs a new China carburetor. So that concludes the video. Hopefully everybody stuck through till the end. That was everything out here that would start within reason and is reasonably easy to start. See, I'm wearing my Mowerman hat from Terrell Fixes All. Unfortunately, my coffee mug is no longer usable. The handle is cracked. But I still have my hat, I still have my necklace. I don't wear that. You don't really want to wear stuff like that when you're working on equipment. But I'm sitting here on my Polaris Sportsman. I'm not going to start it up. It was already started previously in the video. There's really no point in starting it back up. So with the tractors and stuff, other than the Cub Cadets, everything else has been sitting for a few weeks. So we have had a few cold snaps. We don't really have any snow. We gotta love climate switch. No, it's no Greta. It's not global warming. It's climate switch. That's what I believe. Anyways, so that's a whole nother topic for a whole different video. Sorry for the few cutouts in the video. I ran out of memory a couple different times. I had cleared the memory on my phone beforehand, but clearly it did not work. So I had to clear off some more old videos. Luckily, everything has been transferred to hard copies. Mostly everything has been edited, uploaded, or waiting on upload. So hopefully you enjoyed. This is the last cold starts of 2019. Next on Thursday will be 2020. and we have a whole series of new projects hopefully coming in very soon. So I'll talk to them later. Please keep riding like always, and please try and comment.